Anthony Joshua defeats Carlos Takam, but Cardiff fight ends controversially. It was a controversial finish but the one everyone expected, as Joshua retained his WBA and IBF heavyweight titles with a 10th round stoppage of Carlos Takam. Joshua may not have been at his electrifying best, but he got the job done against a brave Takam in what turned out to be a bloody battle. The stoppage from referee Phil Edwards in the 10th round was premature, but the result was inevitable. Brave Takam deserved a chance to box on after his gutsy show, but he was never going to win as Joshua's rise continues. After the epic battle with Wladimir Klitschko in April, this was one he had a lot to live up to and did not match that for thrill factor for sure. Joshua was the red-hot favorite going into this, and, despite tiring as the bout went on, he never really looked in trouble. The London 2012 Olympic gold medalist was landing big shots as Edwards stepped in to stop Takam, who was struggling to see thanks to cuts over each eye. Despite the late withdrawal of Kubrat Pulev through injury and everyone assuming Joshua would cruise through this, 78,000 still turned up at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. The home of Welsh rugby had been transformed into a boxing arena for the night, and it was a spectacular venue for one of Britain's biggest sports stars' 20th fight. And it was another fantastic atmosphere too for one of the biggest names in boxing against the Cameroon-born Frenchman. When Joshua appeared, the noise boomed around the stadium under the roof that kept out the October weather on a wet day in the Welsh capital. And they needed the fans to sing him to the ring because of a power cut as he made his walk to the ring, which meant there was no music for his spectacular entrance amid flames and fireworks. The Brit star, who weighed in at his career heaviest of 18 Street 2 pounds at Friday's weigh-in, said before it didn't matter if Takam was an ant or King Kong. He had to be treated seriously was the message, and he proved to be a tougher challenge than most expected. The opening round was cagey as Joshua stalked his opponent, who was happy to move on the back foot. A clash of heads in the second round brought blood from Joshua's noise and sparked some life into the fight as he retaliated with big right hands that rocked Takam. Manchester United ace Zlatan Ibrahimovic was among the famous faces ringside, and they watched Joshua cruise the opening 3 rounds. Takam was becoming more adventurous as the bout went on though, and started to have some success, but he touched down in the 4th from a left hook. Joshua's trainer Robert McCracken warned Joshua to stop chasing one big shot at the end of a 6th round that the defending champion had dominated. But you had to give Takam credit for his performance, who was checked twice by the ringside doctor because of the nasty cut over his right eye. Related videos: Anthony Joshua trains in car park with his cousin. Anthony Joshua trains in car park with his cousin. Anthony Joshua weighs in at 18th Street for Carlos Takam fight. Anthony Joshua weighs at 18th Street for Carlos Takam fight. Electric atmosphere in Cardiff ahead of Joshua's ring walk. Electric atmosphere in Cardiff ahead of Joshua's ring walk. The brave challenger came out firing in 7th and started to land some right hands, but Joshua just smiled as he seemed to welcome the brawl. Joshua was tiring, and that massive 6 feet 6 inches frame at 18th Street 2 pounds was becoming a challenge to get around the ring. He went to the body in the 8th to try to slow Takam down, and a big right to the midriff opened up a gap for a huge left hook to the head. Takam's face may have been battered, but he launched big rights in the 9th after the doctor said the fight could go on. The end came in the 10th though, as Joshua pulled under pressure. The crowd booed despite their hero getting the 20th stoppage of his 20-fight career. They just wanted to see more of him beating up Takam. A frustrating finish. A far from perfect performance, but it still should set up some huge unification clashes in 2018 with WBC title holder Deontay Wilder and WBO champion Joseph Parker lying in wait.